Hey, let's build a legacy. Hey, how y'all doing tonight? My name's Mikhail, and this is Mikhail Milestones. And tonight's topic is going to be building a legacy. This is my brother Marcus.
What up? What up? How's it going? Hey, listen, I'm glad that we you brought that up because right here on this podcast we like to talk with real conversations about real fathers and make a real impact. And One way to make an impact is leaving that legacy.
Leaving a legacy.
One of the things I know for me that I like to talk about is when I think about legacy, I think about pretty much like, hey, like money.
Yeah.
I think about I want to leave some property, like the house, and probably something like insurance money. And again, those type of things is what I kind of looked at growing up. But as a father, I realized that there's a lot more things that a legacy consists of other than those financial items. Now they're important. Get me wrong. Don't get it. Yeah. They're important. But I will say there's a few other things that's a little bit more important than that. For me, my experience definitely has started out with like my kids just knowing who they are.
Right.
Like to me, that's been big just since birth. Just kind of like talking to them and having a conversation, but just they having that identity of knowing who they are in this world today.
Yeah, most definitely. And as far as leaving legacies, again, I mean, I agree with you. It's all about being intentional. It's not always financially sound. It's about relationships, building relationships. And which is one of the reasons why I wanted this topic so bad tonight, because it's one of my problems. And I'm trying to do better with it. So keep in mind, when we do this, it's not saying that, hey, I'm the best father in the world. Mm-hmm. I'm learning still. Mm-hmm. Okay. So my family in Detroit and my children don't really know each other. And I got to patch that up. And so that's my goal right now, as far as my legacy goes. I want them to have relationships with their families as well as me. It doesn't matter how good of a father they say I am. Yep. Until I do that, I will not be comfortable.
No, I feel you on that, because truly that is exactly how the old school did it, right? Yeah. The old school, what they did was they made sure that we all came together. It might have been once a summer, once every 2 summers. We all came together. We thought we was having a good time. But I feel like now that we're older and we're wiser, I'm starting to see what it was they actually were creating when we started to do those things. Right. I'm starting to see that those family reunions are actually ways to leave those legacies behind. How do you know about that one uncle and how he was always doing this, doing that? That one auntie, how she had that attitude. You ain't gonna go over there, running around in front of her, right? There's just certain things about certain people that when you really think about how do I even know about these things about this aunt, this uncle, this cousin, it's because of the legacy that was left behind in some of those family reunions that we had. So yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly in regards to that. Definitely.
Yeah. And I do want to, now we do want to touch on the financial part of it. I mean, my biggest goal, of course, is to not leave any debt of mine to my children. Okay. I do want to get this, I have a living will, and I do want to build the trust. So that is one of my biggest things. But not only that, I want to pass down values, and I want them to have a purpose in life. Because life is, if you don't have a purpose, you don't know where you're going, And so that's my biggest, one of my biggest legacies is leaving them with the knowledge enough to have a purpose in life. I want to guide them in a way that they know why they're here and what they want to do, and also have the values that I was raised with. Yeah. I want to instill that in them as my legacy.
I feel you on that. And I think one way to kind of instill certain things, one, we're at a race right now. Ooh. We're in a race with social media right now. Ooh. The way your child is learning things and getting things put in them in their minds, we're in a race with social media. So if you have to be able to, we talk about control those screen times. We got to be able to control those things, less of that, more of us, right? And I know, listen, many a times I'm tired when I came home from work, and I've missed opportunities.
Yes.
I have. Like, we're not on this platform. We're not perfect. I've missed opportunities, right? But that's where I had to learn and understand that in order to leave that legacy that I really want to leave behind, in order to beat what social media is putting into my child, I have to then take the time to put what I want into that child.
Yeah.
Right. My son and into my daughters. And those are the things that I have to work on. So that is probably one of the things that really hit home with me was just when I came home, there's a few times or riding in the car and they got the headphones on and no one's really talking to each other in the car. I think we're missing a moment when we allow that to be the norm.
Right.
It's one thing to have that happen every so often. It's another thing for that to be the norm. And so for me, I really feel like in order to get where we need to get to, we got to break that, beat that social media, and we got to win the race as far as getting our input into our children.
Yeah,
so definitely that.
Definitely do. Yes, we definitely do. And then another part of leaving a legacy for me is telling your story, document it, make a journal. You want to preserve as much of your life as possible and to teach them. And you want that family history for future generations because they already don't want to celebrate nothing we celebrate. They don't want to do nothing we want to do. They don't want to listen to our music. So the least we could do is give them, now whether they receive it or not, which we had this discussion before, they will eventually receive it because they will eventually have children of their own and they will see what we're talking about. So those kind of legacies is what I'm trying to leave, that positive impact. And again, we do want to say, hey, financial, if I can leave a house and some land, that would be great. But it may start a whole nother issue because who would I leave it to? My son, my daughter, you split it all. Somebody going to get the house. Somebody going to get the money. What do you do? So I think for me, it's more positive for me to leave a legacy of myself and how I treat people. My kids clown me all the time because they say, Dad, you talk to everybody. I don't know strangers. I'll be in Walmart having conversations with people all damn day. And they be like, you know him? No, I just met him today. So I want them to pick up on that because I want them to know that it's nothing wrong with that. And being sociable right now in this media time with, the phones and everything, it hit us really bad. So we got to bring that back. I want to know who's going to do the next family reunion. That legacy. And if you don't know you have your family, then how can you have a family reunion? So that's my thing that I have to work on. And I will be focusing on that this year. Okay.
And I would say this. So like you was talking about, so some of the things you shared, I do the same thing, like having that conversation with people, strangers, and people be like, the kids be like, who is that? And you're like, I just met him like you just met him, right? But also just kind of, I think when we do those things, like when you do that, you actually deposit it into your child, right? And so like we were talking about as far as leaving the things behind, that's cool and all, but if you leave stuff behind and they don't know what to do, I see more celebrities than anything, right? As an example of things being left behind and then things getting jacked up.
Right.
And one of the biggest things that I know, like for us, when our mom passed away, was like we didn't want to have nothing crazy with anything that was kind of left behind.
Right.
We had structure and how we did things, right? And so that is, I think that hits home. Like that's what, for me, whenever that day comes, my legacy behind is not me. And it's not just the stuff I give my kids, but it's my kids.
That's it.
Right? It's them. It's how people perceive them. It's what's going on in their lives. What are they doing? And if they're handling pressure well.
Right.
Are they in a situation where if something goes wrong, they kind of know how to pull out and they know what to do. When things are right, they know how to celebrate. They know how to connect with others. That's the legacy. That I want to make sure that anybody that's connected with me, that's what's left.
That's what you leave behind.
Absolutely.
I got you. Well, hey, thank you guys for joining in. I want you to share, comment, subscribe, and listen. Legacy is about passing down the greatness of you as a father. And you will, of course, we're not always great, but you want to try the best that you can to instill those morals, those values, and the goodness of life. And if you can do that, then you succeed. This is Mikhail from Mikhail's Milestones. Until next time, be great.
Hey, be great together. Share, like, subscribe. Let's get it.
That's it.
Hey, fatherhood. We're not just fatherhood, we live it.